Good morning. Thank you very much for joining me. Today's reading is going to be their thoughts about you. So we're going to be looking at how they see you, where they're coming from, which will somehow shape their perception of you, how you look, how you react to things, you know, how they see you emotionally, how they connect with you, the situation between you, and where do they see it going, that type of thing. You have got 3 choices. I don't know anything about flowers, so all you earthy people out there who used to roll around in soil when you were young, and you probably still do, if you know what these are, please tell me in the comments section. First one is pink, the second one is yellow, and I think the third one is cowslip. So if you want to take your choice, and then we'll just get going.
La música de Harry Fraud.
Okay, this is confusing, but I think you're going to get more out of me because I'm going to be thinking aloud. If that's good or bad, I don't know. I'm looking, I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing so it makes more sense to you and you can get the bits out of it that you need to play within your own mind, I suppose. Physically, you're coming out as a 7 of water, so they're seeing you as a 7 of water. So as I'm looking at this card, I'm thinking Neptunian. There's always something very soulful about Pisces, Neptunian eyes. So there's that feeling almost, they have almost a glassy look to them sometimes. It looks like they're from some different world. People tend to be very mesmerised by people who have eyes. Mesmerised by people who have Neptunian eyes. It's difficult to explain. There's the 2 people that spring to mind. There's one woman who used to be the receptionist from a school, and I can remember saying she's Pisces. You could just tell she was Pisces, just the way she moved, the way she spoke. She was very gentle, she could sing, and she had large, almost White Walker eyes. They were just so pale that when you were talking to you, all you thought about were her eyes. I also know somebody else who's very dark hair, but got, once again, eyes that are out. They just don't fit with the rest of them. It's just very pale, but very dark limbal rings. And you ask my family, I've got a limbal ring thing going on, which I think is quite prejudiced in some way. I like limbal rings. And it's something that I always notice in people. So there will be something about your eyes. Also as well, the first thing that comes to mind with Pisces is a walk, the way that you walk and the way that you're comfy with yourself. A lot of the time there's a flow with Piscean or Neptunian type people. You don't have to be Pisces or Neptune or have it strong, but these are the things that I'm picking up. And there's often a flow in movement which translates to the ability to be able to dance. And it isn't it's body popping then, which is what I was thinking. Yeah, I was going to do a bit of electric boogaloo as well. It's not that. It's a flow. It's almost not contemporary. It's like oh yeah, I don't know. It just is the way you move from one section to the other. It's like you're flying. It's really difficult to say, but you see somebody with a good walk and it's incredibly, incredibly attractive. These are just little things I don't think we put into words very often, but often we translate it as attractiveness. It will be the way that you move from one situation to the next, the timbre of your voice. I'm going to make this really romantic. It will be lilting. It will be soft and it will be comforting in some way. And your eyes, your movement, your hair. When you're thinking again of this like Piscean 7 of water being very mutable, there's almost you may have short hair, but to me this is giving me an image of freedom. It's almost got a mermaid quality to it. The people who have strong Pisces, the men that I've known with strong Pisces tend to go for women that look like they've just come out of the sea with flippers on. They tend to have long, curly, beachy type waves, hair, I don't know, that type of thing. If that is not so, and they're looking at you as a Seven of Water, and that's what they find attractive about you, or that's how they think about you, it would be that you are very flexible, very easygoing, but this is more physically. You're not rigid, you're relaxing when you're communicating, you smile easy, and there's a kindness about you, I would think, which is nice. It's strange that they're coming across as the Queen of Pentacles. So to me, there's a feeling of being quite regimented with the Queen of Pentacles compared to the Seven of Water. There's a possibility that your person is quite controlled, quite organised, very structured. And oftentimes you get like the Virgo Pisces axis, and they're as most axes, very different. This is like, I like to organise things and keep things in a boundary so that it feels as if it's, I can do, it feels safe to me. And there's something very beautiful in that, the way that the houses are clean, the way that they can organise notes and use the computer. But there's a beauty in this which has got a flow. There is a mermaid quality in that. It just speaks of, to me, I'm speaking through probably my own eyes, which is a very difficult thing to do, to speak through your eyes, of summers and no regimented school, or sunshine and fun and walking with bare feet type of feeling with the Seven of Water, which is Neptunian to me. The Queen of Pentacles to me, in the most beautiful way, if your person's turning up as this, is somebody that makes you feel safe, somebody, and this reminds me of sitting on my mum's lap, who was, there must be something Virgo-y about her, excuse me. Because when she used to draw, she used to be very smooth and very repetitive over this. She used to draw teddy bears going round and round in circles with little round and round ears. And there was something beautifully soothing about that. And when she sat us on her knee, which wasn't that often, we were very young, when she read, you would just fall into the words. Beautiful, beautiful. So, beauty in both of you, but differences, I guess. Physically, your person probably comes across as more put together with regard to their clothes. Does this sound insulting? Oh my gosh, this will sound insulting. My mind is actually quite insulting, because this is exactly what I'm thinking. They iron their clothes. There will be that type of thing with the Queen of Pentacles, where everything is clean and well presented. With the Seven of Water being flowing and more Neptunian, there's just the ability to throw anything on and look fantastic. And most of the time, what you're putting on possibly is chosen for like light. I'm not going to use the word viscose. I'm not going to use it. I'm thinking like bohemian type things. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It may be wrong, but that's what those cards mean to me. Emotionally, you're coming across as the Father of Air, which is amusing because you almost swap places in your emotions. So they're seeing you with the Father of Air as being quite cool. You're like a sexy bohemian cool cat over here. The Father of Air, if you look at this guy looking straight at you, but he is in a hammock, he is relaxed. It's like you sit back and you understand things, and that you're quite mentally astute, but you don't have to shout your mouth about your observations. How beautiful. So to me, sexy, sexy. They're coming across as the Queen of Cups. When I put these cards out and I was looking on either side here, there was a feeling that whether they seem more in the moment, to be honest, with these feelings here, and this sort of energy at the top for how they come across physically. It makes me think of somebody who's very good at talking to people and shaking hands and looking people in the eye and getting things moving, while this energy here is more of an observer and more of a observer of beauty in life. Whether it's in people, in a book, in a conversation, or in a flower, it doesn't matter. There's a gentleness in this, and there's a feeling of wiseness in here. This has got, I'm in the middle of it, and I'm a good person feeling about it. And I'm going to give, and I'm going to make people feel comfortable. So I'm not going to say a boss type of energy, which I say often, especially when the Emperor hits me in the face. But there's what's my bra flipping? Someone scratch, excuse me, that's a bit too much, Oh my God, I've lost myself there. The Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, to me, is quite queeny. It's effeminate, focused, and very much in the now, very much a giver in the now. Right, let me keep going down here. How do they... Okay, I'm talking to myself here. There is a, what I guess... You play. I think that you play. I think that this person knows that you've got what I guess is a light spirit, a light feeling about you, a feeling of ease with yourself, but a feeling of not needing to prove yourself. Physically, you're coming across as being quite feminine. Even if you're a man, there's a softness about you that has got flow and movement and a sensitivity about it, I would say here. But with the Three of Water down here, there's also a playfulness about you. You don't take life so seriously, I think, is what they're picking up, what they think of you. They think that you're easygoing. They think that you spend weekends lolling around on the beach with a tail. But you're not stupid. Yeah, strong word there. I was just doing it for effect, really. But you're with the Father of Air here and the Three of Water. You play, but it's like a decision you've made. Life is here for living. Let's enjoy it. So there's a very freedom-orientated type of feeling coming from you. They're coming across as more sexual, possibly more... This is like somebody who herds somebody into place. Like herds groups into place, or like a mother figure who slightly fusses over children, and how that will relate if it's somebody who, and let me put in a situation that isn't actually a mother. Let's just say it was a friendship group, and this person was your, like, a friend. He would be somebody who would make sure that everybody was included and called up to make sure that nobody was left out. But there's also the Devil card down here, a feeling of intensity and slight neuroticism, possibly. I'm wondering as well if this is sort of a sexual feeling with a sexual drive. They may be picking up that they're very much in the now, very focused on what they're doing. More extroverted, possibly? Nah. Too many queens. I think it's probably similar. I was going to say that this person pushes their energy out, but I'm not too sure, to be honest. It just has an intensity that you don't have. They see you as being more at ease, more relaxed. Anyway, let's go on to the situation between the pair of you. What do they think about it? There's a feeling here of working together on things. As in, you both know there may be, I'm going to say slight differences, but I don't feel that. But there may have been, not so much talking about these lines down here, but in the general situation between the pair of you. You've got the Knight of Swords here and you're coming across as the Father of Swords, but you've got like people around or situations that feel as if it's just coping with too much. What is that? To me, inside myself, I would probably say that you've had meetings with this Earth card in the centre. You've had a connection where things may have had a slight rub about it, and they feel that they've reacted emotionally to it, and there's been an intense reaction to it, but they think that you're really at ease with it. Maybe lots of different people involved, and they think that you're dealing with the whole thing in a very cool manner, while they feel as if they're overreacting possibly with these two cards together. Words spoken. You've argued with the Eight of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. Have you had a scrap? Have you exchanged some information, even a sentence that could have been taken the wrong way? This person's taken emotionally. You seem to have not noticed. And you've got here a feeling of everything's okay because almost like you're both working on it. Why the Hierophant there? Ugh. Working as part of a team together anyway, whether it's a friendship group, whether it's a relationship that you both want to move forward. There's a desire to make it stable. There's a desire to keep moving it forward here, even though something may have happened in the past. There's a feeling here this person sees you as, actually, they probably see themselves as a bit stiff. As if they've always done the right thing in life, always done the thing that was expected of them, and showed up in life and looked after people and cared for people and organised their finances and gone to work for how many years or studied for so many years and made sure they got the mark. And there's an intensity that speaks of a little slight hint of perfectionism in them. You don't speak of that at all. And there's probably trying, this guy, I'm going to say guy then. I don't know why I'm thinking guy because there's queens here. This guy or girl, or yeah, this person. There's an admiration for you. They admire you. And there's a lot of yearning, watching. This is one of those very sort of classic reads. I'm not saying that my read is classic, where there is, you've got what I haven't got. And it's more coming from them, wanting to be more like you, to be able to cope with life in a way that doesn't really ruffle your feathers too much and you're just sort of moving through it. There's a feeling of a bit of devil-may-care with the Three of Water here. There's a feeling of sociability. There's a feeling of kindness from you. There's a feeling of wiseness from you. There's a feeling of what I guess is a very fluid sexuality. And I'm sort of tripping over guys and girls there, so that might be something in that as well. Guys and girls, oh my God, I sound like Jimmy Savile. There's a want and a need here to, with the little cup standing up and the looking out bit here, the new moon, there's a need to move this forward and to work on it together. So this person thinks there's a possibility to get things moving with you. To me as well, with the Queen of Wands, how they're going to do that with the Five of Swords, how they're going to get things moving. It's almost like it's an inadequacy. They feel that they're not up to the job. The Five of Swords here, the Queen of Wands, it feels like you're coming across as being very much in control of your environment, of yourself and your personality, who you love, what you love and how you love, while your person over here feels sensible to the fact that they've forgotten how to shift sideways. Three of Water down here, you shift sideways and you do it with what I guess is a natural ability to know where you sit in life and what you want to do without overthinking it. It's not like you have to structure yourself. It's like you're quite an inward person, possibly with the Father of Air. You do a lot of inward perusing, thinking. I don't know what the words are. And then when you basically move out into the world, it's got a natural flow is the word I'm going to use again there. Well, they feel that it has to be, with the Queens here, the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, there's a need to give here, which is lovely. But the Queen of Pentacles here together with the two Queens makes it think motherly. So this person comes across as feeling that they need to be grown up about things. And the Devil card here is all an intensity with that. There's a feeling of not being good enough from them. And I know this is what they think of you. So it will translate to that. The Queen of Wands and the Five of Swords. I guess this person feels like they're that. In those little white sailor pants with a very sticky figure there. The one behind and there's you in front. So to summarise here, pile number one, their thoughts about you are that you are beautiful and easygoing and easy flowing and kind and considerate and clever and bright and playful. There's a really strong physical feeling in here of the way that you look, whether it has got something to do with your eyes, something to do with your hair, or something that you do that has got an air of freedom about you that is enticing to somebody who feels quite structured. They feel in their life as if they've done what they felt they ought to have done, and there may be a slight ping of wanting to get back a feeling of youth which you emanate in some way. So that's probably why they feel this Five of Swords slightly inadequate, because you've got an air of gusto for life, I suppose. There's something that's happened between the pair of you that I guess would be like words exchanged or communication that's been exchanged, where you may have even cut them to the quick or said something and they've based. To me, it feels like they've tried to boss you in something and you've just put it put it down, not argued maybe, but just put them down or said, you know, that's enough type of feeling here. And there's a respect for you for that and wanting to work towards you. It doesn't have to be an argument. It may be something where they've given their point of view and you've got a totally different one. And if they were a little bit insecure, they could take that personally, but they've stopped and wanted to work on it and thought, oh, hold on, that's why she or he is so attractive, is because you are different. And this to me has got the wanting to work on these three cards together, to me feels like how this person would try and move forward is to organise and to drive and to work in a team, which is them all over. But it's coming as well from an admiration from you, but also what I guess is almost like a need to control in themselves, to make them, they want to be you. Does that make sense? Which oftentimes is part of the attraction. Why the devil? Because of the devil. And that to me is, with the energy that they're coming out, is the need to do well in life. You haven't got that feeling. That's the way you may have that feeling inside you, but they're not picking that up. They're picking up an ease and a flow. Somebody who laughs and somebody who's kind and somebody who, you know, I can't think of the words. You don't care about the same things that they care about. And there's an intrigue about that. Because they've, to me with the devil card twice, they've spent too long digging the same hole, trying to find the answer down the same flipping pothole. And they've been very good for people on the way, but it's, especially if this person is older, if this person is like in their 30s or 40s, I feel that there could almost be like a swap where this person's fed up of playing the same role and they want to know who you are and play more of the role that you come across as. But they've done a good job for others in the meantime. And there's also a feeling here, I might say this, and I don't know whether it's right, whether this person's got lots of people around them and finds people easy, while you've got a feeling of ease in who you are, and maybe that might swap quite well. Maybe this person may introduce you into a new life that may be quite structured, while you've got a little bit of wildness and a little bit of I don't really care anyway, that may like a little bit of structure and maybe even more people around you, a different group of friends, where this person just wants to feel like you at ease inside their own body. Right, pile number one, I'm going to leave that there. I hope this is recording. Thank you very much for joining me. There should be new readings out on Sunday. I always put them out every Sunday night. So if you fancy a reading, please check out the website, which is HULUPPU.co.uk. And don't forget your thumbs up and to... Oh, what are the words? I don't even know what the words are. I forget them because I used to say it and I don't anymore. Just like and share and save and those things. It's not save, is it? That's what I wanted to say. Ah, shut up, Lindsay. I'm going to go. Bye-bye. What do they think about you? I have to go through these quite slowly because there's an interaction going on between both the sides here. So it may be good or it may not be good, that I'll explain everything as I go along. There's a feeling in here that your person is searching, I'm going to say watching or trying to understand the situation, find out information about you in this. There's also a feeling that things have maybe been offered but not taken up, and I'm not sure which side has done the offering. There's a feeling of frustration coming from your person as well, which is not basically answering the question, but I'll get to that in the end. I'll summarise it all. Let me move these up a little bit for you, because the one's not quite in the bottom, is it? Squidgy up there. There's also a feeling here that you're both very good at reading what the other one is, where they're coming from, what they're thinking, you know, what are their real intentions. There's maybe a bit of, I'm not saying there's a lot of, no, that's wrong. There's not a lot of playing in here, but there's definitely a lot of understanding if that were to happen. If either of you try to jump one ahead of the other, if that makes sense, or manipulate something, you would both see through it straight away. So there's not a feeling here that you've tried. There's a feeling here that something has been tried and it's not succeeded though. Because the middle card up here is what's going on between you in the real world, not rather than what do they think of you. And you've got a cup that's not been taken up. And then you've got what I would say is, you know, what are their actions? You've got here, maybe they tried something already with the Three of Wands because it's more forward than the Two of Wands, which is more, although Wands are action, to me, it's more thoughts than action, because it's like you're just stuck inside your head wondering what's going to happen next. What action do you want to take? And it comes after the action that they've already taken. So there's a lot to be had in this one here. You're coming across, they see you physically as the Two of Air. This card up here, the little girl looking in the mirror. Because of the air feeling, there's a long-winded explanation to this, I'm afraid. This is where my mind was going as I put the card down. Because of the air feeling and the symmetry, the reflection type feeling as well, the little girl in here, my mind automatically jumped to Virgo because of Mercury being ruled by Gemini and Virgo, because of the symmetrical features that Virgos have. So I'm wondering whether they see you as somebody who's naturally incredibly attractive. Virgos tend to be, to me, and there may be just these qualities that they admire about you. They don't look as if they need to, I've got to be careful here because, you know, these could be quite sensitive to some people. But it shouldn't be sensitive to anybody, really, because there's just different ways that people look at things, isn't it? It's not personal at all, because I don't know who anybody, you know, most of the people who are watching, I don't know what you do in your spare time or what you do with your hair. But there's a feeling here that they don't like a lot of makeup. To have that Virgo feeling, it's somebody who doesn't interfere with what God gave them. Does that make sense? So it doesn't have to be makeup. It could be just a feeling of looking natural. The way that you put your clothes together is classic, I would say, in some way, or classical. The way that your face is structured is probably very symmetrical and youthful, possibly past its age, if you know what I mean, that you look younger than your age. There's probably a clearness in your skin. There's probably, I guess, I always think with Mercury there's a smaller part to the bottom of the face. The face tends to go inwards at the bottom in a very sort of it's like a slope, and I can't really translate it, but it gives an air of youthfulness as people get older. Virgo-y type feeling with the way that they see you. The only word I can think of is natural. You don't have to do, and as I said, I was being careful with the makeup, because some people, I can't wear makeup because I look like somebody who's put makeup on a mole if I do. It's just something that I just can't think about, and it's because of me, not because of my taste or anything, because it really isn't. I think if I look good in the makeup, I'd wear it. But with the Two of Air here, there's a feeling that they think that you don't need to wear it because you're just beautiful the way that you just turn up. And maybe you wear that sort of really natural makeup that, you know, you've got stuff on but nobody can see it, but there's just like, it adds that little bit to you. I don't know. I've seen kids, Virgo type kids, see their mothers put makeup on and not like it as well. Because Virgo's earthy, and it's like what's in front of you is what is. They don't like any pretense. So there's something very natural about you. That's what I'm trying to say here. They're coming across as the sun, so it's okay for them to basically jazz themselves up, but not you. There's a feeling, this person may be like Leo Virgo. So they could have like a Virgo Venus. The Sun card here, how they come across is possibly they've got a big personality. They like to be seen when they walk into a room. They're probably very warm. They're probably quite grandiose in some way. They may have a jazzier sense of the way that they dress, more flamboyant. But what they're looking for is somebody who isn't the same as them. And automatically we tend to look for people that look like ourselves, I think, a lot of the time. The same sort of features in some way, and body types possibly, not always, but it often can be the case. This person feels bigger than you. We're having this sort of Virgo-y type feeling and this Leo type feeling here. Your person may have this may sound strange, a bigger head and a bigger frame. May have definitely a bigger chest area. May walk, slightly, I don't know, Leos can sometimes walk with, and Aries as well, with their chest forward, or their chest is quite prominent, or they tend to have slimmer legs and a bigger top half of the body. Oftentimes it's said that Leo tend to have big hair, but I haven't really noticed that. I can understand why they say that because of the lion, but I wouldn't say that's something that I have noticed, but it could possibly be so here. But there's a feeling of possibly difference in stature or structure in some way, the way that your body and your head is formed. I'm thinking of something I saw the other day, and I will move on quickly to the next bit, of an ocelot. What is an ocelot? And then I'm looking at thinking, because this has got that cat sort of leonine feeling, you think, what do cats look like? I've had Leo friends covered in freckles. They almost look like they have whiskers poking out the side of their face. Big face, a bigger face. And big hair, to be honest, and a very sort of welcoming, strong personality that laughs a lot. And then I saw this ocelot, I'm thinking, well, that's a cat, but it's got a small head. And there's this feeling here because of the I know you're going to write in the comments section saying stop talking about my head, but the fact that your head is so emphasised here, there may be a difference in head sizes. I'm going to move on quickly. I'll go back to that and try and make more sense of it here. The High Priestess here, with regards to how they see you emotionally, to me makes it feel that you're cool and controlled, you're kind and compassionate, you listen well to others. You're not somebody who, and this person will enjoy that because they're giving out the energy to have somebody that receives it. So there's something here that's going on between the pair of you that they find very comforting and very easy. Your person feels like they could flare up because of the energy of the sun pushing outwards, and because of the Seven of Fire here, there's a feeling of passion that often comes out in words possibly, or can be slightly antagonistic if ignored or pushed or insulted or shown up in public with the Sun card here. The Four of Earth down here, how they see you mentally, with the High Priest there, which can be very Taurian, which is very fixed, and the Four of Earth being also a feeling of everything structured, they could see you as quite stuck in your ways in some way. Then there's a feeling possibly of stubbornness going on between the pair of you. So what they're thinking at the moment, apart from the fact you may have a small head, just ignore that bit, is a feeling of attraction in the way they're attracted to you because you come across as not needing to preen, not needing to be anything else but what nature gave you. The way that you present yourself to the world is very much, you don't really care what anybody else is thinking. You may be shy. You could be shy, I don't know. They may see this in you, but there's almost like an intrigue in you, in the fact that you seem very centred without having to put a show on, and they won't understand that because it's like life is about the show. How come they're so good at what they're doing when they appear quite maybe introverted or a little bit shyer than this sun energy here? There's also a feeling here that there's something that annoys them about you, and that would be the fact that they feel that they have to give energy out, and you perhaps are more controlled in, you listen to them, you pull in their energy and you play with it, but they're wondering when they're going to get something back out of you. And I feel that this person has got, and I said initially, there's a searching feeling. They want to know what you're doing. They're thinking about where have you gone possibly, and why did you not take up that offer? Was it not obvious what I did, what I gave you, what I presented? Did you not hear my words? Or that's that type of feeling in this, which is why it feels like it goes backwards here. I feel in this spread here, what they're thinking about you is, why did you shut them out? Does that make sense here? Why were you this? Because there's more control coming from you, and there's what I guess is a feeling of generous spirit, but almost a bit angry over here with this Seven of Fire. And there's a feeling here of something not being taken up. The Queen of Swords I'm attributing to you over here because there's more sort of mental control is probably what I'm thinking in my mind. And then there's a feeling here of something not being taken up and shut out. So they're thinking that why did you not get the hint? I gave you this, why did you not take it? And I find that insulting is probably what I would say here with this Leo feeling. They feel that you've shown, this may sound a bit sort of, it may be totally wrong for you, but there's a feeling that they've interpreted this with a very strong ego that you've insulted them in some way. I don't know. And then here goes the Hangman here, which is this feeling here. It's like I wanted to get things moving. I almost made a move back to you, but there's something that won't let me do it because I feel that I've done my bit. Does that make sense? They did their bit. And I know you're going to write in the comment section, no, they didn't. But the Ace of Pentacles here is still a need to get it started through what I feel from this to this to this is frustration. And with the Psyche card here, or the Sight card here, deep down you both know what's going on. Deep down you both know what really happened, but I'm wondering whether your person automatically follows a pattern in their personality that they don't know how to stop. Let's say they understand what happened between the pair of you. If one of you felt slightly shunned, which I think is them, they know that you possibly didn't mean it, but the ego won't let them accept that. So they're still following an automatic pattern of, I feel a bit grumpy about that. I'm angry about it, or I feel that you blocked me and I feel frustrated. But there's a mixture in here, which to me is probably early starting relationship, the Leo, not good English there. But if you're having a relationship with the Leo, you can perhaps turn your back on them once, but you don't get the chance to do that twice because the ego is so strong it will go off and reform itself somewhere else in a different situation. But this person's still searching for you, even though I feel that something may have gone on between the pair of you that they felt was a slight. And they feel that you're stubborn and they're the one that's going to have to come forward. And they feel that they've done their bit. So there's frustration in this pile. What they think of you is that you're you ready for this? What they think about you is they think that you are kind, considerate, but stubborn, that you're immovable once you've made your mind up, and it makes them feel a bit grumpy. I'm putting a nice word in that, grumpy. There's a feeling, which I didn't explain very well, of what I guess is a Leo Virgo feeling from them, that they are more expressive, that they are more open, possibly more generous with the energy that they give out than you, but there's something incredibly measured, there's something incredibly attractive about you physically. And I couldn't quite get this out very well, so you may not still be here if you heard that been switched off. But there's just that feeling of Virgo beauty that is not needed to be touched by anything man-made. That makes it better, okay? And there's a frustration with regards to how are they going to get this moving when they feel that you're so stubborn. And they've made their move, and you both know this, what's happened between the pair with the Psyche card here. And their ego won't let them do anything more, even though they still are searching for you. Hold on a minute. Let me just find out what's gonna... They were so attracted to the Lovers card and the Seven of Fire. There's like, oh my gosh, I get this energy a lot. In life, I notice it a lot. You get people very proud of themselves, this makes me want to cry, this, because I often feel that I come across like this. People who are very proud of themselves, people that are very warm, very giving, and there's almost like a little bit of a let's watch and wait and see what happens type of feeling, and this person's already insulted. Why did you not come back to me with the same energy that I gave you? And look at this. And this, the Lovers cards here, and then it turns into, well, and it can almost be, they can be more stubborn than you at the end of the day with this type of feeling. well, they weren't there to cheerlead me or to basically cheer me on at this particular, let's just say this is a situation between the pair of you and there's a real friendliness going on. It hasn't really got to the relationship part. This to me is the type of energy that was said, come and watch me do a triathlon. Come and watch me in my show. Come and watch me doing this. And perhaps you turned up to watch, but they didn't see you, so they get the hump. It's that type of feeling. Well, I was so attracted to you and you didn't do this. And you're like, well, no, I was there. I was, I wanted to be there for you. I wasn't really interested in what you were, the triathlon. I wasn't really interested in the theatre show you were putting on. But I was there for you. And it's a bit too late and there's a misunderstanding already. And, and you're like, well, what on earth was that? Because there's a feeling of consistency with you. There's a feeling of control with you and kindness and compassion. Where there's a feeling of being a bit more volatile with regards to basically what they give out is a lot and it comes out quite fast. And they expect it back fast. And when it doesn't come back, it's like you're wrong and I was always right when you're just slightly different. So there's a misunderstanding here about things that haven't been taken up. But there's a feeling of kindness between the pair of you. And that's what this person must have sensed by the fact that they're still searching. But it's like a backward step. And when this person gets this hump type of feeling, it's like, where do you go from there? Because you feel as if you possibly are, I'm giving what I'm giving, and this is it. Surely it's enough for you. I'm not going to play with your dramatics over here. And they're like, you didn't do this, you didn't, I don't know what. Why are they searching? Because you feel different from other people. There's a feeling here with the Fool card here and the Three of Fire of starting something new and possibly sensing something new. It's, let me put a few more out. Yeah, different. There's a feeling of the spread before and this spread here that maybe your person is older and ready to change. And I said this and it was very obvious in pile number 1 because you've got the Judgment card and the Hermit card and the Fool card and then this sort of like journey going on, which is mental. Your person may be coming to a time in their life when they're ready to change and they're seeing you and know that their behaviour patterns with the shouting Seven of Fire and the Lovers, although passionate, are somehow quite childlike in some way, that people don't turn up in the way that they expect. They're expecting somebody to come back to them with the same energy. And that isn't always the best partner because that energy coming straight at you is, to me, is like fight makeup sex, and that can go on for, I'm guessing months, a year at best before it gets that tiring. And you are like sitting there watching them basically whirl around like a dervish, playing life on its own. And you're like, oh, come on, when you come back down to earth, come and speak to me. And this is intriguing them because it's probably what they need in their life. And why you've got this card here where there's a feeling of caring and compassion and sweetness between the pair of you, even though there may have been something insulting gone on, which they basically formulated in their own mind as being insulting. Right then, pile number 2. I'm going to start summing up what I've got here. Their thoughts about you are that you're different, that you are possibly the most composed, self-contained, wisest person that they've ever been attracted to. There's a feeling of a very easygoing beauty about you and a connection that feels they can't quite explain with the Psyche card and the Six of Cups here, why the connection feels so emotionally strong when you're not coming back to them with what they're demanding. And they can't stop looking and searching for you because they want more of it. But it's almost like the fact maybe that you're at a bit of a still point here is good for them to realise that they've got to grow up a little bit. It's probably what I've got here. So their thoughts about you are, you're different and you're needed in my life, I guess, is what I would say here. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there, pile number 2. I hope that makes some sense to you. yeah, and I'll put readings out on my website, huluppu.co.uk, on Sunday nights. So if you fancy reading sometime, please check it out. Bye. Okay, what do they think about you? I can tell you what I'm thinking initially in this pile, which was difficult with your first two piles, and then I will have to go through it and I will talk my way through it. So things may change, but there's a feeling here because your person's coming across as all earth on this side. You're coming across as the Ten of Water, the very searching quality about you, with the emotional and the mental exodus type of feeling going on at the bottom here, that they would see you as being difficult to pin down, being difficult to understand. There's almost a feeling of you being a bit of a shake-up in their life in some way, possibly spending a lot of time wondering whether they should be stubborn or change their point of view, is just my first thoughts here. So there's a feeling that you are an alien to them. That sounds right, because you've got Uranus here and such differing energy, which is where the word alien came from. You've got the card in the centre as well up here is the Seven of Swords. It's, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to choose my words correctly so that you're not insulted, because there's so many different thoughts going on in my head. They're not insulting thoughts, but because the energy with the Uranus and the Seven of Swords here and the difference between the pair of you is quite jarring in some way, that I'm wondering whether they, what are the words I want to use? They don't know where you're coming from, so there's a lack of understanding, is what I would say at the moment here. You're starting off with the King of Pentacles and the Chariot card, and this top line here is what's going on between you in the real world rather than what do they think, which is more these side cards reflecting on you down here on this side, which I'll go into in a minute. But the Chariot card and the King of Pentacles, with all this earth, the Six of Earth is quite giving, the Four of Earth is quite stable, the Ten of Earth is exhausted by being that, and you've got the Chariot card, which is focus and action and energy, full of energy, next to the King of Pentacles. This person feels that they've given to you in what you may think is they're probably very practical. The way that they give is like showing up and being there, or making things, or cooking or something like that, and they feel that you possibly don't appreciate how they give. And this is a lovely feeling on this side here of somebody that doesn't ask for a lot but shows up. And you are looking for, I guess, with the Ten of Water here, they're seeing you as more emotional than them. They're seeing you as very kind and compassionate and considerate. There's a feeling here with the way that you look is quite soft, or the way that you communicate has got a very sensual quality about it. The way that you dress is possibly soft, or it's like feeling of curves, and you don't have to be a woman. There's just a feeling of softness about you that a very earthy person meeting water is going to find very attractive. May not have the same energy, but there's a combination there that goes extremely well, and there's a real joining together of difference but the same, I would guess here. You give in different ways. I feel that you give in a more emotional way, where you care for people, you ask how people are, and you sit and listen. This person perhaps is less emotional than you, but gives in a different way. Both actually lovely. The Two of Fire here and the Three of Fire with regards to how do they see you emotionally. The Two of Fire here. The Two of Fire. To me, I would have to translate, because of the earth and the water on this side here, it's almost like when you're choking an engine, it revs up and doesn't get started. It's like you're feeling the emotions, so what you're going to do about it type of feeling must be coming from them having all this earth, you having the water, but the fire not actually being action so much as yet, although it should be. So emotionally, they see you as having emotional feelings for them, having a connection with them, and then knowing it, but like, what are you going to do about it type of feeling? Because this person probably would do more than think or feel. So I guess what they're thinking about you is that you dwell together extremely well. There's a connection that has got a unsaid, it's like a pull between the pair of you, but they're almost, I don't know, because of this card here. Now, hold on. You're not there anymore? You didn't do anything and then you disappeared because you reacted emotionally to something and they don't understand it. Maybe you disappeared on them. Maybe you either were a little bit overcome with emotion or felt that you were too vulnerable and decided not to turn up to something, or that something came to a head and you didn't react in a very sensible way. You reacted in a more emotional way. To me, it feels like you weren't centered in yourself and you had a nervous reaction and they don't understand it. And I don't know if that makes sense to anybody here. Or that you overthought something and then made something out of nothing that wasn't correct and they don't think the same. So at the moment, there's a feeling of confusion from them, who I guess they're very straight with regards to how you react, how you see the connection, how you feel about them, and they just want you to be there and to be steady. And where are you today? Where are you tomorrow? And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm here, there and everywhere in my head. Mentally, they see you as you're better with your mental capacities than your emotional capacities. They will see you as being too emotional but still not understanding why they find that so attractive. The ability to care, the ability to give in a very compassionate way, has with these two cards here, because of the Ten of Water and all the earth over here, and the Seven of Swords, maybe in their mind they saw you as long-term potential because of the flow between the earth and the water and the Seven of, and then you ran off and they're like, well, it was getting started and I had to move. The Two of Fire was like, I was thinking about doing something and then I basically balked and ran off, possibly with the Seven of Swords here. And that's thrown them, I would guess here. Maybe where you've got Uranus here as well with that. Uranus. Not mine, yours. There. Mentally, they like the way that you think, but not the way that you emotionally react to things. Does that make sense? Or maybe they will see it as overreacting with the Death card and this card here, and then being quite forceful and moving towards you. This feels like, and I've said this in readings a long time ago, in work we get a lot of people in who we call earnest, where I don't know if this is insulting. It's actually, to me, I don't feel it is. When we say it, it's something that we find very attractive, mainly me and this other lady that I work with, which is somebody that doesn't react to emotion to thing and just is who they are in that very moment, and they show up and they are not, oh my God, it's really difficult to explain. They're just there and they're attractive in just being there, that earth energy. It's like, what are you all overthinking? Why are you over-dramatising things? And that is something beautiful, very earnest. We love a good earnest. There is something magnificent in that. And I know that Eckhart Tolle writes books and books about it. But when you see it in action, it's something else. It's like you're not in your head, are you? You're not reacting emotionally, are you? You're just here. And I like that energy. I tend to, and I've said this in other readings before, when things go wrong in my life and as the women around me with this energy, I tend to gravitate towards them, which sounds really awful, but there's one particular instance. I can tell you quickly, is my daughter fell out of the bath ages ago, and our bath was on a plinth, and it was very, very, it was a long fall, and she basically snapped her head back. So I saw her head hit the ground and then her back with her head still in contact with the ground. So it just looked as if she shouldn't have been alive. The paramedics came around. The next day I went to playgroup and there was my Taurian friend there with this energy. And the fact that she was just unfrazzled by life in general was to me was I just wanted to sit in her aura and sit with her, because I was still, myself frazzled from the night before. It just felt like I was high, and this is beautiful. And I feel that you could have done the high thing, where your mind works a lot faster and where you're thinking, pulling bits out of your head, which are maybe imaginary, maybe based on the past here. And with the death card here, that you could have gone out of a situation and they're confused where you've gone. It's like, they can't quite understand it, but there's a connection here that they want more of you because you made them feel good with the Ten of Water. To me, I think the Hangman here and the Ten of Swords here, you're not together at the moment, or you haven't seen them from a long time. And with the Five of Swords here moving to Ace of the Cups, to the Ace of the Cups, they want to get it started again. It's like the Uranus and the Ace of Cups is like wanting a new beginning, but feeling like something went on that they didn't understand. And I feel that you may have left them possibly wondering what happened here. And this card has turned up already in these three piles, that they feel that you've got one up because you haven't explained yourself. You haven't explained the way you think or the way that you react to situations. And to be honest, I don't know if you should, because I don't know if they would understand such a searching qualities, such a wanting to understand. It's like you flick between things that have happened. You flick into what's going to happen next, possibly. And so you're like this all over the place. And they're like, well, that's not happened. That was ages ago. So I don't know what you're talking about. Different mindsets here, but the thing that I like most is the Ten of Water and the Ten of Earth being reflected, one at the beginning and one at the end. To me, it feels like this person with the Seven of Wands being the the Seven of Wands to me, and I always say this every reading because I've got a little book called Ferdinand. It is Ferdinand, about a little mouse that gathers words. And all the other mice, this is, you can switch off if you want to. And all the other little mice are saying, is it Ferdinand? Why are you gathering all those words? Get out and, get the harvest and put some corn into the shed for the winter. He said, no, I'm collecting words. Anyway, the winter comes and they're eating the grain, and Ferdinand comes out with this fantastic poetry. And all the mice there, having their nibbles are like, that is fantastic, Ferdinand. You collect things in different ways, but this thing feels like it's a collection being the harvest, the collecting and putting things aside, which is the Seven of Pentacles. I don't know if I explained that bit. It's adding on over a period of time things that are concrete. And this person, because the tens are reflected on either side, there's something that you can both add into this relationship that has potential to move forward, is what I'm guessing they view you as being potential for forward movement, something that is long term, which is lovely. That to that is lovely. The person to me feels like they think of you as somebody they could settle down with, but somebody that they don't quite understand. What are you gathering, Ferdinand? I don't know if it was Ferdinand, but it's a great book, fantastic. Leo Leone. I love kids' books and kids' illustrations, and he just rips off pieces of paper and puts them on. And they a bit like Eric Carle, and they are so simple but brilliant. So to summarise here and not talk about Ferdinand, their thoughts about you are, you were the one, where did you go, why did you talk your way out of it, I don't understand what's going on, why are you, there's a feeling of possibly slight anxiety here or overthinking, but mentally when they talk to you they can understand what you're saying, but I feel that when you're not with them your mind's all over the place and rushing ahead. So they are just waiting for you, wondering what went on, why, I don't understand it. I was there, I was solid, you balked, I guess. I don't quite know what that means here. And because of the solidity here in the Ace of Cups here, it's like, I'm still incredibly attracted and open to you. Are you going to come back when you finish doing what you were doing? whatever these searching things are you were doing. And this to me feels like you're searching inside yourself to find the answers of what's going on in this relationship. This person doesn't care. This person wants you just to show up and talk to them. They like this bit. The Three of Earth is when you studied the Two of Fire here and you can actually mentally connect with them rather than journeying. You know, these people like climbing up rocks all the time. It's rather than searching for answers inside yourself. It's like, just get out of your head and come and join me. That's what they think. Come and join me. We can make something of this that goes somewhere, but you've got to show up rather than, I'm going to leave that there, pile number 3. I hope that helps in some way. I hope that helps in some way. Yeah. If you want a reading, there are readings released normally on Sunday night, if I've got time, on huluppu.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye.